Welcome to the ITIL Foundation. As we have said, ITIL is all about processes. The process-based approach of ITIL is tied in with the service lifecycle to address additional service management challenges. ITIL Core consists of 5 lifecycle publications. Each of them provides part of the guidance necessary for an integrated approach as required by the ISO IEC 20000 standard specification. Here are the 5 publications: ITIL Service Strategy, ITIL Service Design, ITIL Service Transition, ITIL Service Operation, ITIL Continual Service Improvement. Each one of these addresses capabilities which have direct impact on a service provider's performance. Further in the course, we will understand these more closely. The purpose of the service strategy stage of the service lifecycle is to define the perspective, position, plans and patterns that a service provider needs to be able to execute to meet an organization's business outcomes. The objectives of service strategy include providing an understanding of what strategy is, a clear identification of the definition of services and the customers who use them, the ability to define how value is created and delivered, a means to identify opportunities to provide services and how to exploit them, a clear service provision model that articulates how services will be delivered and funded and to whom they will be delivered and for what purpose. ITIL Service Strategy starts by defining and discussing the generic principles and processes of service management, and these generic principles are then applied consistently to the management of IT services. This publication is intended for use by both internal and external service providers and includes guidance for organizations which are required to offer IT services as a profitable business, as well as those which are required to offer IT services to other business units within the same organization at no profit. 2 aspects of strategy are covered in ITIL Service Strategy: defining a strategy whereby a service provider will deliver services to meet a customer's business outcomes, defining a strategy for how to manage those services. ITIL Service Strategy provides access to proven best practice based on the skill and knowledge of experienced industry practitioners in adopting a standardized and controlled approach to service management. Although this publication can be used and applied in isolation, it is recommended that it is used in conjunction with the other core ITIL publications. All of the core publications need to be read to fully appreciate them and understand the overall life cycle of services and IT service management. Selecting and adopting the best practices recommended in this publication will assist organizations in delivering significant benefits. Adopting and implementing standard and consistent approaches for service strategy will support the ability to link activities performed by the service provider to outcomes that are critical to internal or external customers. As a result, the service provider will be seen to be contributing to the value and not just the costs of the organization. Enable the service provider to have a clear understanding of what types and levels of service will make its customers successful, and then organize itself optimally to deliver and support those services. The service provider will achieve this through a process of defining strategies and services, ensuring a consistent, repeatable approach to defining how value will be built and delivered that is accessible to all stakeholders. Enable the service provider to respond quickly and effectively to changes in the business environment, ensuring increased competitive advantage over time. Service strategy has the following 5 processes: strategy management for IT services, a process for strategy management for an enterprise and shows how it is applied to managing a strategy for IT services. Service portfolio management. Service portfolio management will ensure that every proposed new service or any strategic change to an existing service is analysed to determine the level of investment required and the proposed return on that investment. Financial management for IT services. Financial management for IT services indicates that a service costs significantly more or less than anticipated, thus impacting the potential return on investment for that service. Demand management. Demand management provides information about the patterns of business activity that is used to determine the utilization and expected return on investment for the service. Business relationship management. Business relationship management initiates requests and obtains business information and requirements that are used in defining services and evaluating whether they would provide a sufficient return on investment. Service design has the following 8 processes. Design coordination. To ensure the goals and objectives of the service design stage are met by providing and maintaining a single point of coordination and control for all activities and processes within this stage of the service lifecycle. Service catalogue management provides the means of devoting that care and attention in a consistent fashion, ensuring that the organisation accrues all of the potential benefits of a service catalogue in the most efficient manner possible. Service level management to ensure that all current and planned IT services are delivered to agreed achievable targets. Availability management to ensure that the level of availability delivered in all IT services meets the agreed availability needs and/or service level targets in a cost-effective and timely manner. Capacity management provides appropriate capacity to support resilience and overall service availability. IT service continuity management to support the overall business continuity management (BCM) process by ensuring that, by managing the risks that could seriously affect IT services, the IT service provider can always provide minimum agreed business continuity related service levels. Information security management. Information security is a management process within the corporate governance framework, which provides the strategic direction for security activities and ensures objectives are achieved. Supplier management ensures that suppliers and the services they provide are managed to support IT service targets and business expectations. The aim of this section is to raise awareness of the business context of working with partners and suppliers and how this work can best be directed towards realizing business benefit for the organization. The purpose of the service transition stage of the service lifecycle is to ensure that new, modified or retired services meet the expectations of the business as documented in the service strategy and service design stages of the lifecycle. The objectives of service transition are to plan and manage service changes efficiently and effectively, manage risks relating to new, changed or retired services, successfully deploy service releases into supported environments, set correct expectations on the performance and use of new or changed services. ITIL Service Transition provides guidance for the development and improvement of capabilities for transitioning new and changed services into supported environments, including release planning, building, testing, evaluation and deployment. The publication also considers service retirement and transfer of services between service providers. The guidance focuses on how to ensure that the requirements from service strategy, developed in service design, are effectively realized in service operation, while controlling the risks of failure and subsequent disruption. ITIL Service Transition provides access to proven best practice based on the skill and knowledge of experienced industry practitioners in adopting a standardized and controlled approach to service management. Selecting and adopting the best practice as recommended in this publication will assist organizations in delivering significant benefits. It will help readers to set up service transition and the processes that support it, and to make effective use of those processes to facilitate the effective transitioning of new, changed or decommissioned services. Service transition has the following 7 processes. Transition planning and support is the process used to provide overall planning for service transitions and to coordinate the resources that they require. Change management is the process used to control the life cycle of all changes, enabling beneficial changes to be made with minimum disruption to IT services. Service Asset and Configuration Management, SACM, is the process used to ensure that the assets required to deliver services are properly controlled and that accurate and reliable information about those assets is available when and where it's needed. Release and deployment management is the process used to plan, schedule, and control the build, test, and deployment of releases, and to deliver new functionality required by the business while protecting the integrity of existing services. Service validation and testing is the process used to ensure that a new or changed IT service matches its design specification and will meet the needs of the business. Change evaluation is the process used to provide a consistent and standardized means of determining the performance of a service change in the context of likely impacts on business outcomes and on existing and proposed services and IT infrastructure. Knowledge management is the process used to ensure that these are available in the right place at the right time to enable informed decisions. Service operation has the following 5 processes. Event management is the process used to manage events throughout their life cycle. This life cycle of activities to detect events, make sense of them, and determine the appropriate control action is coordinated by the event management process. Incident management is the process to restore normal service operation as quickly as possible and minimize the adverse impact on business operations, thus ensuring that agreed levels of service quality are maintained. Request fulfillment. Request fulfillment is the process responsible for managing the life cycle of all service requests from the users. Problem management. Problem management is the process responsible for managing the life cycle of all problems. ITIL defines a problem as the underlying cause of one or more incidents. Access management. To provide the right for users to be able to use a service or group of services, it is therefore the execution of policies and actions defined in information security management. Continual service improvement just has one process, which is a 7-step improvement process. For any service provider, continual service improvement acts in tandem with all the other life cycle stages. It is advisable that all processes, activities, roles, services, and technology should be measured and subjected to continual improvement. Apart from these, we will cover a few more things in detail in CSI, which are the Deming cycle, the PDCA cycle, baseline, how to baseline and why, measurements, why do we measure. Stages of the life cycle work together as an integrated system to support the ultimate objective of service management for business value realization. Service strategy focuses on defining strategies, policies, resources, and constraints. Output of service strategy, which is service level package, SLP, feeds into service design. Service design focuses on designing of solution, architecture, standards, etc., and the output comes service design packages, SDP. This SDP goes to service transition, where testing, validation, and knowledge transfer takes place. Implementation of transition plans also happens in service transition, and then early life support, ELS, comes as an output. Service operation run the operational live services and ensures targets are achieved which were designed in service design. This is the value realization phase to the customers. Continual Service Improvement, CSI, focuses on improving services in every phase and maintains CSI register, service improvement plans, SIP, etc. In this session, we have covered a brief introduction about ITIL and its origin, qualification scheme from ITIL Foundation to ITIL Master, ITIL Foundation certification exam format, pattern overview of ITIL, focus on service management as a practice, key concepts of ITIL, service lifecycle and its phases, service strategy processes, service design processes, service transition processes, service operation processes, continual service improvement, CSI process.